One ship, one night, and a story that has haunted the world for more than a century. The RMS Titanic, the so-called unsinkable giant of its age, set sail into legend in April 1912. Over 1,500 lives lost, families torn apart, a tragedy that changed the course of maritime history. This is the true story of the Titanic and those who sailed into the unknown. Construction of the Titanic began in Belfast, Ireland, at the Harland and Wolff shipyard. Thousands of workers spent over 2 years building the largest ship the world had ever seen. At nearly 900 feet long, Titanic was a marvel of engineering and ambition. Led by chief designer Thomas Andrews, the team aimed to combine safety with unmatched luxury. Her name was painted in gold, a symbol of promise, pride, and hubris. Captain Edward Smith, White Star Line's most experienced captain, was chosen to command her maiden voyage. On April 10, 1912, crowds gathered as Titanic prepared for her first and only journey. Passengers from every walk of life arrived, the wealthy, hopeful emigrants, crew, and staff. From first-class luxury to third-class dreams, Titanic welcomed over 2,200 souls aboard. At noon, the Titanic set sail, bound for New York, her fate unknown. Her voyage had begun, full of promise and excitement, with danger far from anyone's mind. First-class passengers dined on fine china, surrounded by luxury unheard of at sea. Meanwhile, third-class travelers shared hope, stories, and modest comforts below decks. The Titanic's grand staircase became a symbol of opulence and elegance. Captain Smith was ever watchful, trusted by passengers and crew alike. Powerful engines and 4 towering smokestacks drove Titanic across the Atlantic. Wireless operators worked day and night, sending messages across the ocean. The ship's staff took pride in attending to every passenger's needs. Music and laughter filled the night air as the ballroom echoed with life. In third class, laughter was simple, joy found in new friendships and adventure. Designer Thomas Andrews ensured safety features, yet the ship carried far too few lifeboats. Of the 2,200 on board, lifeboats could save barely half. Iceberg warnings began to arrive, but the Titanic pressed on at full speed. Captain Smith noted the dangers, yet confidence in the ship was unwavering. The North Atlantic was scattered with icebergs, hidden threats in the cold, dark water. Lookouts stood watch, eyes straining against the icy night. It was a moonless, silent night, perfect for disaster to strike unnoticed. The Titanic sped through the darkness, trusting in her strength and technology. No one truly believed she could sink. Below deck, passengers slept peacefully, fate quietly closing in. Just before midnight on April 14th, an iceberg appeared dead ahead. A frantic warning rang out, but it was already too late. Helmsman Hickens turned the wheel hard to port, desperately trying to avoid disaster. The ship scraped along the iceberg, tearing open her side below the waterline. Five watertight compartments were breached, more than Titanic could survive. Thomas Andrews knew instantly the Titanic was doomed. Captain Smith faced a terrible truth. The unsinkable ship was sinking. The call to abandon ship came in the dead of night. Many couldn't believe the danger was real. At first, some even refused to leave their cabins. The crew rushed to uncover lifeboats, many of them untested. Panic grew as icy water crept up the decks and time began to run out. The band played on, offering comfort as the inevitable drew near. Legend says they played "Nearer, My God, to Thee" as the ship went down. Women and children were given priority, but there were not enough boats for all. Every goodbye became a gamble with fate. Captain Smith remained calm, giving orders to his crew as chaos closed in. Thomas Andrews, the ship's designer, helped others, never seeking escape for himself. Some lifeboats launched with empty spaces, panic and confusion costing precious lives. The bow sank first, pulling the stern high into the air. The ship split apart, torn by unimaginable forces. In the darkness, 1,500 people were left stranded in icy water. The great ship vanished, leaving only silence and sorrow behind. Those in the water faced freezing temperatures and exhaustion. Cry after cry faded into the night as hope began to die. At dawn, the first rays of sunlight found the living clinging to survival. The RMS Carpathia arrived, rescuing those the sea had spared. Survivors were numb with cold, grief, and disbelief. Debris and lifebelts floated where Titanic once sailed. News of the tragedy stunned the world. Families waited, hoping for miracles. People gathered for news, desperate for word of loved ones. The final lists were grim. Over 1,500 lives were gone. The world mourned, erecting memorials to honor the lost. Survivors and officials testified at inquiries, demanding answers and accountability. Out of tragedy, new safety laws emerged, forever changing maritime travel. The Titanic's legacy endures in every life jacket, every drill, every voyage. More than a century later, her broken hull still rests on the ocean floor. Every year, people return to remember, to mourn, and to wonder. Titanic's story is retold for each new generation, a lesson in hope and heartbreak. Their faces remind us, history is not made by ships, but by people. Ships still set sail, trusting the lessons learned from that night long ago. The Titanic will never be forgotten. Her memory endures, etched into the heart of history. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe for more videos like this.